Hey everyone, just gonna set up a little bit right now. To make sure I see your comments and everything like that. And my computer is super slow. So hey, I see 5 people. Hi Elizabeth, hi Sabrina, hi Pat, hi Jackie. I'm pretty sure I'm like completely mispronouncing your name and I'm so sorry. Kim seemed to have the hang of it, but it's already not my first language like English. So, but hi to like 6 people now. Awesome. I think we're 16 in the class. So I hi Joyce. I'll just start. I'm just gonna show you a little bit what we're doing and what you should have received. So the new stencil Twinkle Little Star, isn't it so pretty? It's gonna come out in at the next release starting on Wednesday or Thursday, so really quick, really soon. You receive a little piece of paper with the 3 critters from Caroline Cutie's Rujaki. Does that sound right? Sorry. Hi Margaret. Is it Margaret Erica or Margaret or Erica? So yeah, so you have the 3 little critters. You have 3 panels for the 3 wallets we're gonna do. I already stamped and embossed them. You have some dots. I hope you received them full. I used them to make other one. Hey Kim. To make other wallets for samples. I also die cut some of the little poinsettia. You take 4 to make 1. Okay, good. Okay, and it's Margaret. Then good, oh my gosh, Rujaki. Hi, Daniel. You got twine, magnet. So you should have 6 magnet. Hi, Mary. And you have a couple of charms. So I hope everybody has that. And obviously you have like 3 white piece of paper. Yours might have cat hair or not. Mine does. And a couple, 3 colored cardstock, 2 green, 1 red, or 2 red, 1 green. It depends, like people got stuff differently. So what we're gonna do, like I sent the cutting instruction, so you should have gotten like it's exactly that paper. That's for the white cardstock. And that's for the colored cardstock. It's just a easy visual guide. I'm very visual person. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start by removing everything that's in the way. And what we're gonna do, here has dog hair. Yeah, pretty sure we all have like issues with dog and cat hair and everything like that. So I'm gonna turn my light on first of all. If there's too much reflection, just tell me and I'll adjust. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by cutting our piece of paper. So just take your white piece of cardstock. You can use, with this one, you can use this kind of trimmer or the one that has the big handle. I'm not too sure what it's called. I'm not using this one right now because it's really big and I would have to move my whole like setup. So basically the easiest way is to cut it at the 6-inch mark on the white cardstock first, because all your panels going to be 6-inch. And then you need 2 panel of 2 inches and 2 of 2¼ So right now I'm going 2 inches. I'm not sure if you can see that. I have all my magnet in the way. There we go. Okay, so at 2 inches, one of those, another one at 2 inches, and the two other ones are 2 3/4. So 2 3/4, and another 2 3/4. And I have a quick question here. Do you want me to do a complete one, and then if we have time, we can do the two other ones together, or you want me to do all three at the same time? Because it's exactly the same way, like the same thing all 3 times. So you can have a little piece of extra scrap paper, you put it aside and use it for whatever, something else. Now we're doing the band that's going to be around the little guy. So basically the way it works is it goes like that, opens, and you have the little pocket here. Hi, Joan. Just a sec, Mira, I'm just going to finish that. So you could put your money or your gift certificate here. You can write a little something there, and it closes with magnets, because I love magnet, and I think it's very satisfying to hear the sound. Where are you cutting these from, please? Off the bottom of the 6 inches. Exactly. I cut it in like the 8.5 by 11. I cut it at 6 inches, and I'm cutting them this way. I hope it makes sense, Mary. So that's the last part. Like I cut basically, whoa, those goes like that. That was the original, like 8.5 by 11. There's a little piece of scrap paper I put aside. So there's the 6 inches by 2 inches and 6 inches by 2 3/4. And here, that's where we're gonna use for the band. So what we want to do is we just like put it this side, and we cut it at 7 3/4, like this. And that's a scrap piece of paper also. And I want it 1 1/4 inch thick. So sometimes I doubt myself, but that's 1 3/4. So you have just one pad. Okay, I think that's what we're gonna do, and you girls probably have like a bunch of other courses you're following, so let's do one, and then it's repeat basically. So you have those pieces. So what we're gonna do is, before cutting the colored cardstock, I would like to do the stencil on the panels, just because I like to put stickles around them, and I do that after I do the stencil, and then it has time to dry while we're coloring the little critters, and we're gluing and cutting the colored cardstock. So that's what we're gonna do. So I brought a bunch of different stencil, Crafting Kimi stencils. Obviously that's the Twinkle Little Star, and I think they're all perfect for Christmas project. So we have Holy here. The last size of the white piece was the band. It's 1 1/4 by 7 3/4. So that's lots of dots. That's Sweater Weather. That's the So Many Circles and the Perfect Plaid. So you can use whichever one. You can use the same one for all your panels. You can use all different one. I tried to use about 3 different size, 3 different stencil, but it really doesn't matter. What I use is also, I use brushes like that. You can use also the foam. Just a second, I'm getting my phone. Here, like, I don't have the proper handle, so I made some with the cork and Velcro. So you can use the foam, which I store under since there's room. It's always darker with this one. So I will be using Goblin Green and Crisp Crimson because it works perfectly with the color of red and green of the cardstock. But you can use like Enchanting Emerald, Ruby Red. You can actually use like yellows if you want, brown, whatever color you want. You can put purple. I'm not sure it's going to look so pretty with the green. Actually, with the green it will look pretty. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. You do whatever color you want. So I'll just show you because the stencils are 6 inches wide and the panel are 6 inches. What happened most of the time is, I don't know if you can see, is on both sides, it's like you're gonna have a white space. So what I do is I'm gonna actually like just go off grid a little bit, use my magnet. I put my magnet plate under. It's Tim Holtz, I think. I got it at one of the Shop the Box. Whoops. And I'm gonna put a mask. So any piece of paper, I actually have like those big sheets of Post-it that are perfect. So like that, because if you don't do that, you're gonna have a cut line in your thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do I'm gonna do Crisp Crimson. It doesn't really matter. And what I want, like usually what I do is I kind of tap a little bit on the side, because when you go right to the brush to the paper, it seems to get really like you have a big brush mark. It's not that pretty, so that's why I try to do that. And also remember that one of the bigger panel, like the 2 3/4, is gonna have to be lighter when you put the sponging, because it's the one, I'll show you again, where like, but that's where I would write my sentiments. So if you put it super dark, you won't be able to write in it. So you just put it a little bit lighter. And it could be lighter color or just lighter touch. And also if you like it that it's like, it doesn't have to be the same intensity across the panel either. So it's really like that class, or not that class, but like the wallet card. Last Christmas, like during the winter, Danielle Champagne, she's the one who, she did, I think, a tutorial on it, but like on paper, and people usually like videos. So I changed it a bit. I added the magnetic band because, like I already mentioned, I really like magnets. And then I'm doing the class right now. And if you want, you can actually like put 2 colors, one over the other. What I do though is I clean my stencil in between each color. It's just that's just a, I think it's supposed to be able to wash car like that cloth. Doesn't really matter what you use it for. Because what happens is when you use another color on a stencil that's dirty, it's going to lift it and your brush going to get dirty. And I don't like that. So I'm just trying to use like the bigger square here in a diagonal. It's just a really quick one. So I hope so far it's not too hard. And what I'm gonna do is, before I put my hand in, just gonna wash that. And now I'm just gonna move and align my my stencil so I can complete the rest of the card. So you will have kind of like to do that for every stencil, just to make sure that you cover the whole paper. And now we'll do the green a bit. And again, I'm trying to do the diagonal here. So that's the first panel, and as you can see, hi Marianne, it's completely like one piece, even if the stencil was a little bit smaller. So we'll just put that aside. Once again, I'm a little ACD for, not ACD, but OCD, I mean, for cleaning, because I don't like to, well, actually, cleaning my craft room. The rest of the house, I don't care much, except for the kitchen. But, so now, that was a bigger panel, so we can do the other ones, the other panel at 2 3/4. And once again, like what we're gonna do is this one, because the other one was like fairly dark. This one I'm gonna do a lot lighter, just so we can write on it. So I just decided to use lots of dots. It really doesn't matter which one you use. Put my my mask here. You can use a piece of paper. Oh, you too, Pat? Yeah, I'm horrible with that. And we have like a robot vacuum. I call him Baby Yoda, because like we have Google Home, so I say, hey Google, clean the house, and then it says, okay, Baby Yoda will clean the house, in French, but whatever. So my husband really likes his electronic and everything, so we have a lot of gadgets. So like the dots, like I say, I won't make it too dark, and I want to have like a couple, like I want to put the green and the red. So what I'm doing is I'm just like going lightly on at different spots, not too dark. Clean once again my stencil without moving it. That's really important. And then I'm gonna add the blue, not the blue, the green, sorry. Oh my gosh. So that's gonna be my interior piece where I'm gonna be able to put the sentiment. So easy peasy. Right now what I'm doing is I'm moving it. And don't forget, if you screw up, it really doesn't matter. You just have to flip it on the other side. Or even if you flip it on the other side and you're still not happy, it doesn't matter. Like, I think that everybody has like white cardstock, so. So we're just gonna align once again. I hope you can see properly. And I'm gonna do some green here. And just finish here, a little bit of red. Just like that. So we did 2 panels, and as you can see, it's much lighter than the other one, so this one we can write easily in it. So what we can do next, I'll use our new stencil, Twinkle Little Star, and then what I'm gonna do is actually gonna do like both panel at the same time, because they're smaller, so it's kind of like 2 for the price of 1. And because that one doesn't really stop, I'm gonna use it as is. If I can, like, there we go. Like that. And I'm gonna put like just a little bit of paper here, again, mask, so it doesn't, like if I pass over it, makes it like a line, it won't look very pretty. So again, red, and I'm putting it like a little bit everywhere. And like I mentioned, you can totally do one panel at a time if you want more precision or have the star at a specific spot. Did you girls see the make and take this morning that I put on, the napkin ring? I was so happy how it turned out. And I'm gonna do on Monday night, it's my turn to do a color line. So I'm gonna do that one. So like that, it's like the continuation, like it's like the crafty retreat goes on for an extra day, extra night. If you're not chatting too much, I hope it's because like you're doing it and I'm not boring you, because that would be a shame. A little bit of green now. And I'm just moving my magnet from place to place. I kind of like those two colors together. It looks super nice. And here we go. So that's 4 panels done. See how pretty it looks? And even if there's a little band here on each side, that's okay too. We'll clean up. What kind of stencil are you using? I hope you're gonna post a picture after so I can see it and tag me, so like that I can see. So I have 4 panels. Now the last one to do is the band that's gonna be around the wallet. So I do like using the holly for it, and then I put in the dots for the berries. I put the red stickles, so it makes it pop, just like that's what I did here. You can see. So I think it's kind of cool. So like that, I just use one color. I use green because leaves are green, and then I'm gonna do the berries with the red stickles, or you could use a pencil, like red pencil or something like that, to go over it. If you put red Copic on top, I think it's gonna turn like a kind of weird color, but you can try. Just like this, aligning it once again. And I don't know if you can see the top of my head when I'm doing that. I hope not, because my hair is a total mess. And this morning I had a phone call, like my dad got into the emergency room, so I think he's gonna be fine, but at first they thought it was a cardiac arrest or something like that, like heart something. So this morning I was like a little bit frazzled and everything, and he's 4 hours away, so I can't go there right like in a second. So, but he's texting, so I assume everything is more or less fine. So a little bit of cleanup once again. And so I have all my pieces here. Just gonna close those, I don't want them to dry. And my little brushes away. A little bit of water because I get really dry throat. And that's where, like, how I store my stickles. I have like 5 of those. I have 50 stickles. So what I'm gonna use is crystal. It's one of those, like, kind of a transparent one, but it has a green sheen to it, so it's perfect for that. And I really like the stickles that are like semi-transparent, because it really it doesn't detract from the image or anything like that. It just adds. So what I do, I think you've seen me do that before. Oh, Margaret, sorry, I'm like just mumbling here. I mean, I figure he's fairly good just because he's actually like texting and stuff like that. But they're waiting for test, obviously. So for the stickles, the way I do it, I think I'm gonna, whoops, sorry, gonna make you sick. I'm gonna zoom you in a bit. Okay. And the way I do it is, like, I know I show it many times, but maybe some people haven't, so I prefer to do it again. So you use the thickness of the paper and you put your nozzle against it, and you see like the glue or the stickles coming out. So once it comes out, slowly, while pressing, I go down the paper using it. Oh, thank you, Pat. So, right there. Yeah, when I received the phone call, I texted Kim and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. But it seems not too bad. So I'm gonna do that with all 5 panel and the band. So it was a slow motion part, the first one. When you're used to it, you can do it super fast. So, and try not to put your sleeve, your hand, your elbows in the pieces you just put. What I do is I have kind of area that I put my stuff to dry, so they're out of the way, because I know, like, otherwise I'm gonna be all over the place. There we go. And the band, you just need to do it on both long sides. Put the stickles. Oops. And that's what you can do, like go over the other one. Because we're gonna cut that one in 3 parts. So it's useless to put the stickles because we don't really know where it's gonna go. So does everybody have stickles? So what I'm gonna do, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be in and out. I'm just gonna put them somewhere else. Oh. And actually, I'm coming back because, like I say, I'm gonna put red on the dots. Yeah, you love your stickle, Elizabeth and Margaret. Yeah, I love them. So it's just red stickles. So Don't put it yet. And don't put it too thick because it's going to take a long time to dry. I mean, it doesn't matter, but it's going to be hard to finish everything. So when I'm not going like around the edges, I just like kind of dabish or something like that on the berries. You're still going to see a bit of green below, but people are going to get the gist, right? So for you girls, do you have like 2 green, 1 red, or 2 red, 1 green? I'm just curious because I stamped and I embossed the sentiment, but I'm not the one who put the kits back like together. I just sent everything else to Kim. It was just easier like for her like to help a bit on my side. Almost there. Two berries. How many classes did you take? I'm asking a lot of questions and you guys are probably like have your hands full. I just feel a little bit lonely here. I would have been with my friend Danielle, like we had the room booked and everything together. Last year we drove together, but I moved, so we would have come each on our side, but we would have crafted together. So that's done. So a little bit of cleanup again. You have 2 green and 1 red. You're taking 6 classes. Oh wow. 2 green, 1 red. Maybe everybody has 2 green, 1 red. I'm not too sure. It doesn't really matter. I feel like doing red this time because I did the sample in gray. So, Margaret, tell me. 2 red, 1 green, but I plan to switch for blues. Oh my gosh, I did, last year I did 20 of those. And yeah, Margaret, how many classes did you take? I'm curious now. Yeah, and I did like a blue one, and I think I did a purple one with the little like Yeti. Oh my gosh, that was magical. Okay, so basically what we're gonna do is I'm gonna use red, but it doesn't really matter which color we use. So that's the plan. I'll zoom out if I can, because oh wow, today, oh no, what did I do? Sorry, now you're seeing my ceiling because I'm so sorry. Oh, I hate that. There we go. 1 green, 2 red. Okay, so it's a little bit of everything. And I'm just making you sick right now. So, because I'm a little nervous. My hands are like a little sweaty, so it doesn't want to. Anyway, okay, let's leave it at that for now. A few too many? How many is a few too many, Margaret? Okay, Pat, you have like 2 reds. I'm really curious. Is it like 15? Yeah, I'm not sure I'm doing real great on the zooming, and oh well, let's do it that way. Okay, so back with the cutter. I'll try to leave myself some room. It's a real disaster in here. Oh, okay, well, I know somebody that I think took 14. Is that person still here? Okay. 7 classes. We aren't answering because it's hard to keep up. Remember, you've done this before. We haven't. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I need a bigger table. My table is huge, and you know what? I could like totally use another table as big, but I'm lucky, like I have my own craft room. Like I'm really lucky. So what I'm gonna do is, like, that's a piece of cardstock, obviously, so we're gonna cut it at 7 inches. because the wallet is smaller, but we have a little tab we're gonna fold. So we cut it at 7 inches, and this part here we keep. It's 1.5 inches, and we can cut it right away at 8 inches. And I put my scrap of paper all at the right, like the same spot, so I know what I'm at. We need it to be 10.5 inch long. Like that's the main piece. Oh my gosh, Elizabeth, you're like, it's like doing school again. And I can't go back there. I mean, it was fine the first time, but that's good, one time. And plan to do this after the class. Okay. So I'm really have to zoom out. Just like I have the setup is, oh, I made it worse. Okay guys, I'm gonna make you sick a little bit. So sorry again. And you see my huge mess here. Okay, so basically what's going on is, as you can see on that paper, there's a band here that's gonna, like, we're gonna have to leave like this. So you don't want to cut it. So we're cutting all, whoops, here, all the pieces here and here, and the same thing on the other side. So don't worry, we're working away. Okay, good, Linda. Yeah, it's still not zooming out properly. Technical difficulties. Anyway. So because it's 3 and 8 inch, oh, first of all, what we're gonna do is, I hope everybody has a score pal or whatever, a scorer. There we go. So what you want to do is you're gonna score it at, oops. Okay. So at the, I'm just making sure I'm at 2 2.25. So score 2.25. And I have a tendency to go all crooked on those. And one thing I recommend, don't push it too much because sometimes, because I already put a score line, it shrinks the paper a little bit. So if you keep pushing too much, it won't work. Anyway, I understand myself. I think I don't make as much sense. The second score line is 5.25. After that, it's 8.25. Your husband is making lunch? Wow, I'm lucky. I ate just before coming here. Well, coming here, like going down the stairs, basically. My husband's away, so anyway, I'm the one who cooks. So it's scored at 2.25, 5.25, and 8.25. So back with the cutting board, what we're gonna do is, like, I'll write it like with a white pen so you can see between, like, basically we're gonna do like that, this a little bit. So we don't want to cut between here and here, and obviously the same thing on the other side, like this. So what I'm going to do is, the paper is 7 inches. So I subtract 3/8 basically. So I just have to make sure that 1, 2, 3/8. Yeah. And And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go from the top, from the bottom to the line, the score line. I don't know if you can see that, probably not, right here. And I'm gonna do the same from the top. So like that, I just have to measure like 1 to the other score line. So like that. I don't know if you can see. Oh my gosh. So basically we have like that. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the other side. So it's gonna be this actually the same thing. So it's gonna be 6 5/8 when you measure it. And from the top also, if you write it down just like I did, it's a little bit easier because sometimes it's hard to see. So you see, you have like that piece of paper like that. So I'm just gonna put that away a bit. And what I do to finish it off, I just take a scissor. Okay, the 5/8. What's going on, Pat, is it's 6 5/8. When you put it in your trimmer, your paper trimmer, to be like it's like the what you cut is 3/8, but because the length of the whole thing is 7 inches, you subtract 3/8, and it's gonna do 6 5/8. So when you align it here, you go at 6 5/8, just like that, and then you cut it partially. So don't be too enthusiastic. I mean, you can be enthusiastic, but not too much. So I hope it makes sense, Pat. So now what you do is you do I'm sure there's a technical way to do it, but I just basically take a little angle to the corner like that. So, and you do the same for all 4 corner, they're not corner, but 4 pieces. Okay, Pat, what's going on? Like, does that make sense that you have to cut 3/8 of an inch on each side? Like this side is, that's 3/8 of an inch. And what's going on? It's just when you put it in your paper trimmer or whatever you call it, like the cutter. And like, to me it's easy because, well, I like math, so also so I'll just write a little graphic. Just let me grab a, oh sorry, okay. So like that piece I just cut, like, I hope you can see, that's 7 inches long. It doesn't really matter the length, okay? And you want to cut like 2 bend on each side. That's folded line. There's 4. It's not to scale, okay? Oh, like, oh, that's what I was thinking about the guillotine cutter. It's like almost impossible to do that way. What you can do is, if you only have a guillotine, like, I'm gonna finish that and I'll come back to you, Sabrina. I'm jumping all over. I'm like a squirrel. It's insane. So here you don't want to cut, like, you want to cut here and here and here and here. But what's going on is, because like I want 3/8 of an inch on each side, when you put it, your cutter does not have what Pat, I'm not sure what you mean by that. So when you put it, I'm just going to finish the explanation. Maybe it's going to make sense. When you open your cutter here, whoa, okay, lights off for now. Between 6 and 7 is you're upside down. I have to use everything upside down because I'm lefty, so I get used to it. Okay, 6 and 7 inches. Oh yeah, I was at 6 and 7. So if you put your paper originally, like now I cut it so it won't be there, but it would be at 7 inches. If you want to cut 3 inches, not 3 inches, 3/8 of an inches, you back up 3/8 of an inch. So 7 minus 3/8 of an inch is 6 5/8 of an inch. I hope that makes sense. And for Sabrina, if you just have a guillotine cutter, the easiest way to do it is when you do the scoring. What you can do is score at 3/8 of an inch on each side and then cut on that mark with a scissor or with an X-Acto knife. So you already have your mark and it's easier instead of just marking it. Oh, is that what you mean, that you don't have like 1/8 of an inch on your cutter? Hey Pat, I'm sorry, like I'm not sure I understand. I'm just gonna put the light back on here. So, oh, and talking about 3/8 of an inch and the scorer, you have to score at 3/8 of an inch. So 1, 2, 3. And the same, no problem, Sabrina. 3/8 of an inch here. There we go. So that's all the scoring line. So you have the 2 little tabs and you have the 4 parts here. Does everybody understand? Does that make sense? If it doesn't, it's fine. I have like a bunch of, like, I can cut my 2 grains also, like, and do it slower or something like that if you want me to. Just tell me if you want. But measure your cardstock at 3/8 and position the line on your cutter so you will have the proper measure. Okay. So just gonna like fold them with a bone folder. Always makes a nice crisp edge with the bone folder. How long is the original red piece? Oh, 7 by 10.5. And if you missed it in the doc, you have all the measurement and everything else also. Thanks, Danielle. There we go. Just folding everything here. Nice and solid. And those little tabs, it's gonna close like this, and then you, ta-da. So what we're gonna do is I put tape on the little tab. You can put obviously any type of glue you want. Just make sure that you don't tape or glue like the pocket close. Hi Danielle, welcome. And actually add a touch of glue to make sure it won't come undone. And as you can see, like, it does close a little bit shorter, so don't put the tape all the way up. or the glue. I'm lucky my tape, like I can roll it down. I did it, but I'm behind now, but hubby help. Okay. Oh, did that work? Like, Pat, did your husband like figure it out? I know sometimes guys are like really good with maths and stuff like that. I know my husband is, but we're both pretty good, so. That's what I always say. If I was going to be a teacher, I would have been like a math teacher. I love numbers. And then you just close it like that. So the reason I put both like tape and glue is because the tape will glue like instantly, and the glue will keep it there for, well, forever, like to a certain limit. But yeah. Okay, your cutter has 16th and 8th on the bottom. Yeah, mine too. And like Kim mentioned, there's files with all the dimension. And actually all the classes I'm giving, because I know a few of you are in 2 or 3 of my classes, I gave like detailed instruction how to cut everything. Okay, so that's basically like it's done for the card. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna color quickly the little critters. They're not very big or anything like that. I'm gonna zoom in, but I hope I'm gonna be able to zoom out when we finish it up. Like, and I'm doing the coloring right now because I want to make sure that we have, like, our stickles has time to dry. Okay, so that should be good. So we'll start with the top one, the little squirrel. And for now, what I did is I put all my Copics in like a bucket. So I make sure I had all the colors. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch from one to the other. I'm going to do like all one color and the other one and the other one. But what I can do is already, with the magic of television, I already colored some of the critter, because you do not want to watch me cut. It's going to be worse than watching paint dry. I'm totally horrible. And I have to fight with my scan and cut. It doesn't always work the way I want, so I swear and stuff. So that's why I already like colored them and cut them. Well, the machine did. So does everybody have their Copics or their medium, like a pencil or watercolor? It's not the greatest paper for watercolor, but if that's what floats your boat, hey, I love watercolor. Can't wait for Melanie's class. So, or do you want me to finish what we're doing and then go to coloring? Totally up to you. I don't mind at all. So I'm just gonna prepare for my little dude. So I use W9, W7, W5, and W3 for the little squirrel. I think that's what he is. It should be. And I go from dark to light. That's the way I learned. And just tell me if I'm out of frame also. I'm gonna try not to hide too much, but sometimes it's really hard. So I'm making like the sun is coming this way, so it's gonna be like his face gonna be lightest, like everything's gonna be lightest on this side, and it's gonna be darker on the other side. I'm gonna do the same for all three because they're actually all facing the same way. So it's like, oh my gosh, glare galore. Please finish before coloring. No problem. Okay, just closing my Copic. You probably have other classes, eh, Linda, to go to? So, here we go. I hope your pieces are dry with the stickles. I'm checking mine right now. I don't have cat hair stuck in it, like usual. Okay, so those are all dry, and my little berries, I wouldn't be surprised they're not dry. Yeah, that's what I thought. So we're gonna do a little bit of cheating. It's gonna be, oh my god, I don't mean to be bossy. Oh, it doesn't matter at all. Like I thought that would be, because people are taking so many classes, and it's totally fine with me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to zoom out, which probably won't work again. I think that's the hardest part about the whole thing, is like the zooming in and out. That doesn't work whatsoever. Because when I set it up and everything works. And then when I try to do it like for real, nothing works, and it's driving me nuts. I swear. And I know, like, you're just swiping your fingers. Sorry. Because I know I can. Ha! Got it. And every time I show you my super messy desk. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm using my heat gun, and sorry for the noise, and I'm just gonna quickly dry the stickles. If you have a ton, that won't work much, but if just a little bit, it's gonna work. It will bubble because it's glue. Like, usually I do prefer to let it dry naturally. Like, but that's fine too. It's the same with my hair. Have to let it dry naturally, otherwise it gets frizzy. Ooh, that big bubble. So hopefully that's gonna dry. We're gonna do the band at the end, but like, I mean, after that, but let's give it a little bit of rest here off camera. Okay, so I have my 4 panels, and I have my wallet base, basically. So what I'm gonna do is I gonna like glue one here. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot, sorry. I have so much stuff on my desk that we actually need another panel, right? So the panel that's embossed. And so it doesn't really matter which one we use. Okay. And yeah, we kind of had to stencil that one too. I'm thankful that we have this video forever, yeah, with all my screw up forever also. So that one, like, I totally forgot we have to use the stencil again. It's where the little dude's gonna go. So what I like to do, I actually like to do the so many circles, because I kind of pop them in one of the circles, and I think it looks like it's funny. So the one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put, once again, like the paper on this side, because otherwise I'm gonna have a line, and I did that with one of mine, so it doesn't look so pretty. So let's put a hue magnet once again with the Ono packed. Like, I usually, like, especially it's not my first time doing it, so I can go like really fast. I won't go super dark on that one either, just because I want the critter to pop. Oops. And maybe put more magnet. Note to self. There we go. And yeah, you kind of have to put it on both sides. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have a mark, and you're gonna see it in not too long. I keep my post-it, and I do that with it. And let's clean again. Usually what's going on is I cut all my panel and I'm gonna emboss that after, so that's why I don't think about it. And then a little bit of red, same we did earlier. If you want to leave it white, you can also. You love watching and you can repeat later, that's fine. I'm gonna try not to put it too dark over the sentiment. I still want to see the sentiment because it's so pretty, right? Okay. Here we go. Like that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the stickles after. So, okay, now we have all our panels. So the one with the sentiment, go like when you open it like that, it's like you close it like this and like this. So you want to make sure that you glue it at the right spot. So this one goes here. So what we can do is just gonna put tape behind. And also, if you want to put any sprays or anything, I just took a couple out so you can see like options and stuff. You can totally do it. It's easier to do it before you glue it, because otherwise like you're gonna like spray everywhere. So I have a box set up just for that, and I just like spray the crap out of everything. I love sprays. Like I didn't do it now, but it, like I say, doesn't really matter. So right now, my tape runner. Yeah, I love Kim stencil, and before I was DT, I didn't even use stencil ever. So it's so much fun. There we go. So, and like I mentioned, I'm gonna put the stickles after. So inside, you can do any which way you want. Like you can have like a star here, or whatever stencil you use. The lighter one in the middle. Oops, sorry, the cat hair here. And then when you close it, the other one's gonna go in the back like that. So let's glue all of those. And my fear is that I'm gonna run out of tape and I'm gonna have to change my ribbon while I'm teaching, or I have to fill a Copic and then it leaks or something like that. So there you go. Second panel. At the bottom, you're gonna see there's only really one way they go. Like that. Don't forget in the middle the lightest one, just so you can write something. If you don't want to write anything, like I say, it doesn't matter. There we go. Just a little test to make sure that my pocket, I didn't glue it. And then we're gonna glue the other one here. So when it's closed, you still have like the other one peeking here. So I hope you can see properly. Just like that. And the reason we're doing the band at the end is that there's so much thickness because we added all the piece of paper with the stickles that if we did it before that, we wouldn't have the right dimension. So what you do is you take your band and you put it more or less like halfway. It doesn't really matter. Like sometimes I do it on purpose that one side is longer than the other one. It doesn't matter. So what you do is you put it this way. I hope you can see. And then you just fold it like that. And you do the same on the other side. And then you remove it. You take your bone folder and then aligning it with the paper and you fold it to have a nice crisp edge. Yeah, I know, Sabrina, like you can do it for like birthdays. Actually, the first one I made for my nephew because like I was giving a gift certificate and it's so boring, right? But his dad brought, like my brother bought him a video game. No, a video console, so I got him a game to go with it, and it's all like virtual, so you can't actually buy a game now. So that's what it's gonna look like. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna take our band here that should be dry because I speed dried it with the heat gun, and just gonna put it on this side, and I'm gonna align where I need to cut. I'm gonna do it on the other side so I don't put marks on the right way. And I'll leave about I think it's 1/8 of an inch border right here. So right here I'm gonna cut a little bit before because I want that edge here, and it's gonna make sense. Like what I'm doing, I'm putting a big line here and I'm putting number 1 and number 1 on both sides. So when I cut, I know where like it goes. So more the stencil, like it looks like it's like it flows on your band. So right now what I'm gonna do is I move it, like that's my line where I'm gonna cut, and I put it from here to where I want to cut it again, so a little bit, and that's all eyeballing, okay? It's not perfect or anything. And what I'm gonna do is I put my line, but I put 2 here, and then once again I move it a little bit to give it a little bit like that border here. Whoa, sorry. And then I put another mark where I'm gonna cut it there. What I'm gonna do is I'm getting my cutter. Oh my gosh, I have so much stuff on my table. Oops. Oh, okay. So, and I just cut on the lines basically that I made. So number 1. And as you can see, it wasn't completely dry because I have little marks, but that's okay. Number 2. And number 3. And a scrap here. So like that. And you can see, like if I put them back on, they all gonna flow. So what we're gonna do is we are not gluing all of them right now because we have to put magnets, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the middle one, because the middle one, it doesn't matter. So just put it that way. And if you want, you can actually measure and then subtract to make like the nice border equal and everything, but I'm lazy and that works really good, so that's what I do. Okay, so now let's get those magnets. You need 2 per, and they're gonna stick because I'm under a metal palette right now. Exactly. So what we're gonna do is that's my, like, because I put the mark there, I know that it's gonna be this side that's gonna go inside, so it's gonna go that way. So if you want to make sure that you didn't like screw up, does it go here or does it go here, you just have to like lining up and it will, yeah, eyeballing. That's what I do. Okay, so I know it's that side. So now that I put the magnet, I can, oh yeah, let's glue it. I just put I tried to put a strip of tape. My roller, I think, is too old. So you want it more or less like, if you want to know, make sure that you put the wallet, not the wallet, but the magnet at the right spot, just close it again to make sure that you're actually over the other, this part, because if you put it too high, then it won't work. But here is just fine. And then I'm gonna glue that little panel. Right, whoops. Like that. So your magnet is hidden. And the easiest way to put the second magnet is to actually put a strip of tape more or less the middle, like where you think the magnet is on the other side. And what you do is carefully, you take your second magnet and you put it behind, see? So you put it behind it and then you close it on top of the other one. I don't know if you can see properly. So the magnet is here. It's not stuck or anything. I can move it, okay? And what you do is you just close it on the tape, and then ta-da! Your magnet is stuck there at the exact right spot. It's almost like I'm bright or something. No, I'm just kidding here. But I love making like interactive card or put magnets or stuff like that. It's just like an extra challenge. So now I just put tape on the other side. Again, I align it. So my 2 is here. So I know it would go here. So I just line it up like that over the magnet. And ta-da! So you have your band, and you can kind of form it if you want. And what I do right now, I feel like gold. Like you have 3 different colors. You have red, white, and gold. Poinsettia. And you have 4 pieces of each. What I do is you can use a pen or something like that and just like kind of roll them to give them some shape, some dimension, right? Like that. And you do that with all of them. Just they don't lay flat. If you have like I know there's tools like to you rub or something. I have it somewhere, but I don't feel like it. So I think you could use a scissor too, but I would be afraid of Thank you, Lori. Like I mentioned at the beginning, Danielle Champagne is the one who made them first, like on the Crafty group. So I'm just gonna use my pencil for the little one because he's smaller diameter. And the last one. Be careful not to tear them apart. There we go. So, and now you glue them together. You can, like, glitter paper is hard to glue. Okay. Not sure if it's been, was this recorded so we can, yes, Lori, you can totally get it later. You're gonna see all the screw up I did with all like the zooming that I can't do. Actually, it's the zoom out that I can do. What the, Danielle? What WTG? Because I know WTF, but I'm pretty sure it's not the same. Sorry, like, I was in the military for 27 years, so we swear a lot. So, okay, it's really hard to glue on glitter paper. So what you can do is either use glue dots or use glue. It's just glue, like it's gonna take a little bit longer to glue. So I'll use glue dot because I have some, but like I say, you have different options, right? Oh, way to go. Oh my gosh, so not the same thing, thank you. Oh my gosh, that was so bad, sorry. So I'm just using my little like glue dots here between each sandwich of my poinceau, yeah. Oh, and then I like crisscross them, so just like that, the two big one, and then I'm gonna put the two little ones on top. Whoops. Oh, that was really bad. And the little one. Whoops. And then the last one. Put the little glue dot again. Originally, what I did is I put a brad, but Kim couldn't find any. Like they're, I think it's like in voice instinction. People don't use brads anymore. Anyway, and you put a hole through them so they hold really well and they are centered. Like this one, I think is crooked, but that's okay. And you take a piece of twine. You don't need very like much of it. And one of your little churns. Thread it through, which I suck at. I need new glasses, so there we go. And I don't want it to be too low, like I don't want it to be like lower obviously than the wallet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the knots, not knots, I'm just gonna do one like this. I'm just gonna adjust it till, because I'm gonna hide it behind the flower, the poinsettia, something like that. And then I can cut the excess twine because you don't need all of that. There we go. So once again, I use a glue dot to glue my my charm on the twine. I'm just gonna do a test fit here. So another glue dot, but like I say, you can use whatever you want. Okay. So I will glue that. So it's at the right height. I could put it a little bit like higher, but I like it there. And then I'm gonna put another, like I have different size glue dots. I'm gonna use an industrial dot. They're huge. Look at that. crazy. And I'm gonna put it behind here. Kim had those like one shot the box, and I thought they were the little one. When I received them, I was like, oh, those are big. And they're sticky, like crazy, crazy sticky. Insane. Here we go. So I have it here. And then I glue it on top of that. On top of the whole thing. Like the twine. And making sure, but you can use glue again, right? And then you can take your dots and decorate. In this one I'm gonna put like a red center just because it's gonna pop on the gold. And usually like the dot will glue, but once again it's just a glitter paper, right? So I'm just putting an extra bit of glue here for the dot. And if you want it, I'm just gonna close so you don't get the, here we go. If you want, you don't even have to put like the critter. If you didn't want to, you could just like push your band a little bit to the left and it would still be like complete, right? But I like the Caroline cuties. They're adorable. So now, basically, because I already like colored them and cut them, you like glue one of them, whichever one you want. And I pop dot them, so they're like a little bit like right there in your face. And you put like dots a little bit everywhere. So what I did on the sample is I put some inside beside where I would put the sentiment and stuff like that, and I put some on the top here also. So that wasn't too bad. Like what I can do is if people want, and even if you don't want, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna color the critters because it's part of the class. But if you want to go see another class, that's totally up to you, and I understand. So I'll just put that away. Actually, you can see it there. And I'll get my little guys again. These ones. And I'm gonna zoom in, and hopefully I won't have to zoom out again. And here we go, it's not working. So sorry for the headache. Okay. Okay. So take 2 for the coloring. Thank you, Sabrina. So it didn't turn out too bad, right? And you do exactly the same for the 2 other ones. The longest, honestly, is really doing all the stenciling. Not that it's hard, it's just a little bit long. And you have to remember that the stencil are a bit smaller. If you can see here, there's a little bit of grain, because at the beginning I forgot to put the paper when I did it. So that's why you put the paper. Like, it doesn't show much, but because I had a light touch. So I'm gonna need light for coloring. Amazon Rujaki. I got them on Amazon. I have, like, actually I'll show you I have a little box, and I keep all my magnets in there. So I have like tiny one of, I think it's 3mm, 5mm, 8 and 10. So I love making, like, did I mention a few times already that I love making stuff with magnet? Actually, the new release that's coming this week, one of my cards, I have 26 magnets on it. So yeah, I know, Pate. Hey, Danielle, I didn't know you were there. So, yeah, I put magnets, yeah. I don't put them in my cereal, but almost. Okay, so we'll start, actually now I feel like starting with the bunny, and I think I need to move that a bit because there's so much glare, it's crazy. I don't know what's going on. I think it's the fact that I'm going like in and out of Zoom. Okay, Mary, no problem. Oh, thank you, Mary. Your download is non-existent. Like you couldn't like download, I imagine, the file. Maybe we'll chat later and see if we can fix that. So for some reason, I don't know what's going on with my phone. I think it's tired or something. It's really, the light is really poor. Okay, we're gonna start with the bunny. Just cause. So I changed my mind, like I said. So what I'm gonna use is W5, W3, W1, W, 2 zeros. And I'll try with the lights again, see? Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Usually I have no problem whatsoever. I can do that with the light on, but today is just a bad day, I think. Or if maybe that's gonna work better. Ha! I think my telephone doesn't like the brown background. That's funny, I didn't know that. So let's get some lights on. Here we go. Discover something every day. I use other than Copic. Can you put your samples up again? No problemo. Pat, are you in some other of my classes? Because I did like the pencil, I did the conversion for the colors. And I actually colored some of them with pencil, but not that class for some reason. I did Copic all the way. Just trying so you can see all three. Here, here, here. Thanks, Margaret. Okay, so little buddy bunny. And I always like crack all my my pen first, open. So like that, I do it like that. No, I could not get into more Copics, so I can current my to do that with any of my classes. I try everything, including listing my engineer son. So I'll just have to wing it. Okay, I think it should be fine with the video, Mary. I hope so. Thanks, Joyce. No, I could get into more. I'm not sure I understand what you mean that you could not get into more, Pat. So I'll start. It's gonna look terribly dark at first, but because I'm just using the white, but you can see here that with the red and everything like that, it turns out like just fine at the end. So what I'm gonna do, like I mentioned earlier, the sun is coming from like the other critters way here basically, because they're all facing that way. So I'm gonna put and I'm gonna turn them a little bit on the side. It's just easier. I'm trying not to hide everything, but sometimes it's hard. So behind that here, because it's behind his head, I'm gonna put like a little line here. It's gonna be pink, so I won't put anything. I'm just gonna put it at the base of his ear, and behind his head it's gonna be darker, and also like the scarf is over his face, so it's gonna be darker also. Oh yeah, okay, I understand, Pat. Like Copics are really expensive, and Miss getting in one by only one person, but I'm excited anyway. Okay, so like you can get like for pencils, like the Prismacolor Premium on Amazon. You can get them often for like on special, and you get like 150, all like basically all 150 colors. So right now I'm just putting where I think the shadow is going to be, like under his feet will be darker. And what I do now, oh, that was W5. Sorry, I should have like mentioned. And if you can't hear meow and stuff like that, like I have really curious cats, so he might come and visit. So that's W3. Now that I showed you the other one I use. So, and then I just extend basically the color. And you want to keep some white because that bunny to me is white. I mean, you can make it any color you want. It can be blue for all that I care. And you just go over the other color, blending. And they're not very big, right? So you have to be careful. And the scarf is over his face, but I didn't, because it's the side that's lightest, I didn't want to use W5 on the other side. I don't care if I'm going in the red, because the red's going to hide it, okay? So again, doing the same thing. And his little arm, his little feet, or paws. No problem. W3. After that, I'm going to go W1. There we go. Once again, extending, same, right? And if you're not happy, you can always go back. Like that paper is, I think it's Nina, 110 pounds, so it's pretty thick. Like you have to put a lot of, like that's the underside of the paper. You have to put a lot of ink to actually go through. But I always color on piece of paper, because what's going on is if you use paper that's a little bit thinner, and you go through, if you go color on glass or plastic, what's gonna go on is that the ink doesn't have anywhere else to go, so it's gonna like try to go all over the place. So that's W00. And again, extending the colors. And I know I showed like quite a few, like at my live color along and stuff like that, I showed it a few times, and I showed it at the retreat too. I'm just gonna show you like when I do mistake, what I do to fix them with Copics. Now it's gonna look easy because like it's just like a gray. Sorry, I'm trying. Okay, but like his foot, I went under, like I went under the line. So what I do is, that's my colorless blender, the 0, and then I always go below my mistake and I kind of push it. But what you have to do is you have to take your heat gun right away and then dry it, so it doesn't have time to go back where it was. And then what I do is I usually go over the light, like I look through the light, so like that I know if it's dry or not. And then I do that a few times and I can fix my mistakes. Sorry, I know you don't see anything here. So see how his foot was really fat earlier? Now I like kind of fix it. And I can fix like, and that's, I'm still with the colorless blender here. I can fix like red, any color really. It's just gonna take more tries, like with the heat gun and the colorless blender. But you don't want to do it too long. It's better a bunch of little times than like trying to push it too much. So now I just like with the, thank you Margaret, with the colorless blender I just like kind of smoosh it a little bit. And what I'm gonna do is, I don't like that really big line here, so I know that was W5 that I did, so I'm using the one before that, W3, to blend it, because I really don't like that it's so dark. I'm leaving the arm like that because like it separates his body from his arm. So I'm going back because I did W3. Now I'm having a line, so I'm doing W1. Oops, I should put it there so you can see where I'm at. I just went back basically, but now like the line is not so sharp. And then I'm gonna finish with W00. I remember last retreat, last fall, I was sitting beside two lovely ladies, and I'm horrible with name because, like I say, in my 27 years in the military, we had our name tags on our uniforms, so I didn't have to remember anything. Anyway, and she was so sad because, like, she was coloring like a cute little girl or something like that, and a blob of red fell right in her face. And I think it took me maybe 2-3 minutes, and it got fixed. So that really worked. The only thing is, like I say, don't put too much colorless blender. It's easier, put a little bit, dry it, then put a little bit again, and like so on and so forth. So my little bunny, the white part is done. Like I say, it looks a lot darker, but it's because he doesn't have any color and reference beside him. So what I'm gonna do is, like I said, I'm gonna do all the reds together, all the greens together, just because it's like small images. So I'll do and I'm doing, I didn't want to do the red right away because like the white, if I go into it, it's easy, like it's harder to fix. So I hope I'm making sense. Sometimes I'm like rambling and it makes sense in my head, but not in real life. So for my red, what I'm using is R59, R29, 24, 22, and 20. And my Copics are a little bit old. Some of them are gummy. The dark one, especially like R59, is a really dark color. If I put it down first, for some reason I can't blend it, so I have to put the color before first. So I put R29 and then I go back to R59 and then I can go on. Thanks, Kim. I just did like the skin of the bunny, that's all. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna do is a little scarf, and I'm gonna do it like the same way I did it here. So, and sorry, like you can see, yeah, okay. Just gonna put it on both edge because of the, like, it goes around his neck, so both sides gonna be a bit darker, but more like there's gonna be more depth in the back just because it's further from the light. And it's harder to blend if you have a line instead of like it's a little bit larger. Under the second part of the scarf right here will be darker also, and on both sides. Whoops. So see, I went a little bit further here. That's where I want to put the green, so I'll fix it when I'm done with the red. So I'm taking my R59 now. So I know I don't have a color on that cap. So what now I can like go over, and I don't pass it because that's my darkest color, right? It's just like I told you, it's like a primer. I'm using R29 as a primer basically, and like this. And sorry, little guy, they're really in my way. Okay. And then I'm going back with my R29 actually. So, and then I go on the R59 and extend a little bit. Same thing with the bottom here. And then R24, and again go over the R29 that I just did and extend a bit. R22, and some combos blend better than other. Like I think that red combo, like to me, it works like a charm. But that's my opinion. And I did take classes with Alice from Kid and Clouder. So my technique is a little bit like she does. Like I'm not at her level whatsoever, but I'm working on it. So R20 is my last color. So just fill in like, and I'm doing like little like, usually I wouldn't color like that angle. I'm coloring like on this side, but you basically blend. And it's easier to blend when it's wet. So you don't want to like put a color, wait to dry, then put another one. So that's the red for the bunny. What I'm going to do is, like I said, like I went and it's with the R29, so it's really dark, and I went a little bit further. So see, I'm just like kind of pushing it where I want it. Actually, I push it in the white, but, and then right away I'm going to dry it. And do the same again. I didn't mess up too much, so, but I hate when I go out of the line. And the reason I learned that technique is because I had, like, I didn't know that paper was important with Copics. So what I did, I had really crappy paper when I started, and I was bleeding all over the place. So I had to keep fixing my mistake over and over again. So that's how I learned to do it. Like, it was just desperation, I think, yeah. So what I'm doing right now, I'm adding, it's R29 for his mouth, and not to lose the lines, like I stamped them with it's a granite gray. So I'm putting R29, and now I'm putting R59 just there, so like that I know that's the darkest part of his mouth. Now you have to use like fine skill, like, and then I can go like the bottom of his mouth is going to be a little bit darker too, because part of it is actually under his scarf because he has such a big mouth, or he's singing very loud. Either one, you pick, your pick. So I don't really want to blend between like the corner part, and then I go back R24 and the same way I did it. And a lot of time I'm gonna do little parts, color little parts, even if it's the same color. So like that, my previous color is still wet because it's so much easier to blend. So it might look repetitive, and I'm switching pens all the time like markers, but it works for me. So that's his mouth. And his nose, what I'm gonna do is I have E93 and R20. Oops. So R20 is a little bit darker, so I'm putting it on the side of his nose and his ear also. And then I'm gonna use E93 Thanks Pat. Whoops. And then to blend it, because like sometimes like it's just not light enough, I'm just gonna use the blender like very lightly to kind of blend it in the ear. The nose, well, I went out of the line, so I'm just gonna fix that, but I'm gonna leave it that way. Actually, I'm gonna put a little bit like R22 just to make it a little bit darker on this side. I could have put him like with a darker nose, but nah. If you prefer, you can give him a red nose. Not a red nose, it's not a reindeer, but a black nose. So, and I have like just the green part to do. But like I mentioned, I'm gonna do all the reds on all of them. So for him, it's only his mouth that is red, and I added like a little line, so it's like the middle of his tongue. So again, right here. is a little bit bigger, so it's a little bit easier to color. So that was R29, my primer. My R59, I know there's no number, but if you see that little button right now, it's what it is. So R59. And then go back to, oops, and that's what I wanted. Like the line, I'm just gonna, here we go, with R59. Thank you, Danielle. So R59, just like that. R24, and so on and so forth. You get the gist. R22, and we're gonna finish with R20. You girls gonna die when you're gonna see the release for September. I almost did when I received it. I was jumping up and down in the house alone. My cats were looking like I was a crazy person, not just a crazy cat person, but just a crazy person, period. So that's all the red he has, and then I'm gonna go do that little guy. So R29 for his shirt. Whoops, upside down. And sometimes, like, it's hard to see the distinction between, like, different parts of the body or clothes, because, like, it's so little. So I'm putting, like, the darkest one, it's going to be around the band, around his body. And on the side here. And that's my R59. So basically just where I just went, but I just want to put a little bit, and I want to be able to distinguish his arms from his body, like so. Back with the R29. And with the granite gray that I use for stamping, what's going on is that it gives still like a kind of a no line effect, but it's easier to see, like it's less hard on your eyes. And also with, like, I use the, oh, were you in gray or in brown? I can't remember which. I thought it was gray that I color. I can't remember. I stamped. Anyway, usually I use like grays if I'm gonna have like cooler colors, and then brown if I'm gonna have like people. But these ones, because I think, oh yeah, I remember, I think it's pretty, it's granite gray, because the bunny, I didn't want to have brown around him. Answer my own question. So he's not very big, eh? And that was R22. Sorry, I forgot to put it there. And finish with R20. So obviously it's going to be prettier when everything is done. That's just a funny way to color right now, like with colors, but okay. Oh, and his mouth. So let's try that again. R29. R59. lucky my R51 is like has a really nice, whoops, I can't even see myself. Here we go. A nice pointy tip, so I can do like fighting line. And going back to R59 again. R24. R22. And 20. So I'm just gonna, I think I'm done with the red. So now I'm gonna go with the green, and what you hear is just me throwing all my markers around. So I have G29, G24, and G20. I'm pretty sure I mentioned like on the, I might have had like G28, maybe G21 to the mix. I'm not too sure, but G29 and 28 are almost exactly the same, so you don't really need to add it basically. So I'm gonna finish my little bunny here. So on each side would be darker, and at the bottom also. So that's G29 like I mentioned. And I'm gonna put the little tassel, fringe, whatever they're called, here at the bottom. So just little flicks, right? And after G24, blending, like going back over your G29. And then the G20. G20 is like a big leap. It's almost like Colorless Blender Pale. And when you lose, like I kind of lost the second color, like the R24, so I'm gonna go back. And the second time it's always easier to blend because it's a little bit wet. G20. And that's little bunny. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like take, sometimes I shake, and it seems the minute I have a black marker in my hand I shake, so that's just a pencil, and I'm just gonna darken around his eyes so they pop a little bit more. You can totally use a black marker, and if I screw up I can erase it too, so because it's a pencil, right? So now his eyes are just like a little bit like more there. So let's do the green for the fox. So his shirt's gonna be green, and like he has a big what do you call it, neck, I can't remember what it's called, like that big thing like for the sweater. Anybody? No. And at the bottom of the book, his sweater continues also. Trying to put the lines there. So that's G29. Go G24. Extending color, big high color. I'm not too sure. And then again at the bottom. And G20. So once again, I'm gonna go back just because I'm not too crazy on the blend. So G24. Oops. And I'm coloring like his lower belly completely. And G20. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fix some mistakes. Like I said, I like the bottom part is supposed to be his belly, like here. Not his belly, but it's the bottom of his body. So little by little, I'm gonna fix it. And sometimes like it's gonna be a darker color that goes there, so I'm not too worried about it. I just want to like remove the maximum of it. So I think this time it should be fine. There we go. And I'm not putting the red line, the green line right away, just because I put some shading behind with the white. So that's what I'm gonna do first. So I'll put like the green away for now. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the rest of the white, which I should have done earlier, but I forgot. So W5. So the tail, like the top part, I decided that was going to be darker gray. The book will be, or is coral book, something or other. So obviously behind his spot is going to be darker because he's hiding it. So whoops, W3, just throwing stuff around again. So once again, like I mentioned, for all the other colors, you just go over the previous color and you extend a little bit. It's the same principle for all of it. Like that. W1. And W000. Like that, and I'll use just my colorless blender to unify that. There we go. So like I said, I'm just gonna do the middle of his shirt here. So basically on both sides I put a little bit of a W5. That's W3 now. W1, and W00. And I put red in my gray. But because like it's so pale, like the W00, I can all, like I kind of did the same thing as I did with if it was my colorless blender. So it doesn't show too much. And finish again with the colorless blender. And I kind of forgot his other piece of sleeve to my fox here. So I'm using just G24 so we can see the difference here. Because if I use a G29, I won't see. It's going to be lost. Oh, that's... I have a little cat that's really whiny. And yeah, when he comes out of his hiding, he comes and whine at me. And not whine like he wants wine, but just whine because he's a whiner. And yes, you are. And I talk to him. So right now what I'm doing is I have our G29, and I'm gonna do the line in his sweater. And with G24, I'm just gonna go over it just to enlarge it a little bit and give it like three-dimensional, just like that. So not very complicated. Like they're small critters, so it's hard to put. But thank you, Margaret. It's hard to put too much detail also. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna color the fox. So my colors, I start YR18, and then it's gonna be the E90 family. So E99, E97, E95, and E93. Okay, see you. Awesome, Pat. Have fun. Yeah, I figure a lot of people like would come and go. So as long as there's still people anyway, even if I was alone, I would still finish it because people can watch it whenever they want. So that's the whole point. So like I said, I always like unscrew my caps before. So that's YR18. So close to the book it would be darker at the bottom of his tail, under his like his lower belly, and his little feet, paws. And I'm just doing that part for now. Like I said, I don't like to do too much of too much color. Like I don't want it to dry. So that's my E99, which is actually darker than my YR18, which I kind of forgot, so it doesn't matter. So that was like E99. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back with my YR18. There we go. And then E97. Just gives that, like adding the YR18 gives that extra like richness, I think. So E97, E95, and E93. And now I'm gonna do the same with his paw and his face. So here there's a little line. It's kind of hard to see, but it's easy to. I'm just putting it before I lose it. So that was E99. That's YR18. Sorry, I keep forgetting to put the caps there for you. Y97. And since there's not like much room, I'm just gonna jump to the 93. Sometimes you can do that, like if it's like very little area. And then his face. So his ear, because it's behind his head, it's gonna be a bit darker right here. And same thing here. And what I did is let it go on the other side. Like that. And then this whole side's going to be a bit darker. And I'm going to put a smaller line on this side. So YR18. Extending those lines again. Do you guys have all the colors like that I put there, or you're using your own combo? Like I didn't really get I didn't see any comments on the class group, so I figure everybody was okay. That's E97. And we're gonna go to E95. Oh, thank you, Joyce. And we're gonna finish with E93. Okay, so that's my little fox, but he's not done yet. Not completely done anyway. So what we're gonna do is, oh yeah, we're gonna do his little ears. It's gonna be the same as the bunny. So R20, you can see, eh? Okay. And then E93, and the colors blender is going to do the rest of the job. My colorless blender I always leave on the other side of me, so I can find it really easy, because I always like use it when I mess up, so it's the one I use the most. So here I kind of messed up. I'm not too keen about that. There we go. And his nose, so W9. W7. And I'm gonna jump actually to W3. And I'm gonna leave a little, like, well, actually I didn't leave anything, but I wanted to leave a little accent, but I kind of messed up on that one. The easy way to fix that is to actually use a white gel pen like this. And here it goes. It's there again. And I'm using, it's a Copic liner, multi-liner. It doesn't matter which one. It's black. It's just to darken his eyes so we can see them. I didn't use like the black there because it pops too much in the white, but because he's not white, it's just fine the way he is. So that's the little fox done. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to that little dude squirrel, and I'm gonna do his nose first. So W9. Oh, totally forgot. W9, and then W7, same thing as the fox, right? We just did. And then a little bit of W3. One thing you have to be careful, like with your Copics, if you don't want to ruin them, do not go over like the white gel pen. Like if you put white gel pen, don't put Copic after. Same thing if you want to mix pencils and Copics or any alcohol marker, not just Copics. Do the pencil at the end. Oh, like, because the Copic, if you mix it with other medium, you're gonna ruin the points. That's a Copic multi-liner, so that's fine. It's done for that. Kim's inks are all perfect for that. So those are things that are good. But you have to be careful of the other things. So let's do is, actually I'm gonna start at W7, just so he's like a gray more than a black. So W7. So this will pause. It's so little, right? Oops. Did I mention I need new glasses? And W3. So a little bit of correction here. And it's easier to correct it when it's still a little bit wet. I know I'm drying it, but that's what I found it. So his tail, it's going to be darker behind his arm and also in the fold. I also did like kind of like almost like a snail effect. So that was W7. That's W5. So blend and extend. And W3. And I'm gonna fill in this spot. There we go. And I'm just gonna go back with my W5. Sometimes, like a lot of time, like you probably notice, I don't go back to my darkest color because that's usually the one I have the hardest time blending. So I don't want to add more. But if you feel like you lost your darker color, by all means, just go back and add it, right? And that's W3. That's a still, and I'm gonna do his little face. And his ear is like kind of behind his head, so it's gonna give a shadow. And W5. And I'm trying to leave a little bit of room to put a little pink inside his ear. You don't have to. It's just if I don't do it now, it's going to be like much harder after because it's kind of a dark color and pink is so light, right? And then W3. And I'm not doing like crazy shadowing or contouring. They're very little, so that's what I'm doing with them. Try not to put color in the white of his eyes. Or to touch the red like I did. And if you put like color in his eye, well, we can fix it, right? Which I'm gonna have to do. So I'm just gonna go back with my W5 because it kind of disappeared. And W3. And let's put a little bit of pink in his ears. So okay, sorry about that. It's just like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, my dad went to the hospital today, so somebody was just calling to know, like I thought she might have information, but she doesn't, but she just wanted to anyway, I had to call, like, to take that. So that's our 20. So very sorry about that. And my blender right here. Usually, like, I wouldn't take any phone call. I don't know if you actually heard my ring, which is a little bit annoying, but what I'm gonna do is I'm using the multi-liner once again. Well, let's give him a little, like, tuss with that. And around his eyes. And then what I'm gonna do is, like, their mouth is actually like a little bit wider, so I'm gonna give it to them with the little multi-liner, a little bit like that. Like that. And with a, oh, thanks, Margaret. With a little bit of a white light liner here in his eyes, him too. And we have our 3 critters. Thank you, Margaret. So now the next step is trying to zoom out, which I probably won't be able to like usual. Oh well, it doesn't matter. So what you want to do is get to this. So you have to cut them. And like I say, I'm a horrible fussy cutter, so I won't do it in person. And basically what you do, which one do you want on them? Doesn't really matter. I think we're gonna get that little guy here. Okay. So I used Pop Dot. So put a couple behind him. Like that. And I put him in this circle just because I think it's kind of cool. Like that. And then we have dots, so let's use them. I love my dots. So doesn't matter which, what, where. And let's put some inside. Like, that's really up to you, right? Obviously. But I won't put any here because, like, first of all, it's hidden by there and it's gonna look funny, but that's just my personal opinion. You can put some here, here, anywhere. I like to put them in the center panel, but once again, it's like totally up to you. And because I have like red there, so gonna use that. And there's a lot of circles already, so I don't even really need to do that, but it doesn't matter. Dots are so nice. And another little one. Oops. So that's basically it. Now you have 2 other ones to do. And like that, it stays closed, right? Thank you, Margaret. So I'm gonna let you go to your other class or supper or something else. And thanks for watching. Bye.